Hi, I'm Janet from Chez Les Fleur podcast. And this is a podcast where we talk about women in business, all the exciting things they're doing, the glass ceilings they're breaking, the challenges, the fun, the problems, their problem solving skills. And we love to talk to small business. In particular, we love to talk to women in small business. Our guest today is Angela, and she's here from Green Street Bikes, and she sells electric bikes, among other things, but we're going to let her talk to you because she knows her story better than I do. So welcome, Angela. It's great to have you with us. I appreciate you taking time to be here.
Hi, Janet. Thank you so much for having me. Very
Well,
happy
I'm
to be here.
I'm glad you're here. You are about to celebrate a big anniversary in your business.
Yeah, we're moving into our 16th year.
Wow.
I think we're there officially 16 years. We were probably at it about a year before the official start date, but yeah, we're into our 16th year now.
Excellent. Do you have any big plans for your anniversary? Not
Well,
a secret. Is that a secret?
no secrets there. Spring is just such a busy time. So the plan is just to continue, keep on. And this is a time of year where uh, we're just we're swamped with customers and people trying to get back onto their existing bikes or looking at getting into a new bike. So that's really where our focus has to be in the spring.
So, what inspired you to go into business in the electric bike business?
Ah, um, I think at the time I was in another business. I've always been a bit of an entrepreneur, uh, and my husband was in the automotive field, so he was in the industry of fixing things, and we had this desire to develop a new business together, and we were pretty concerned about the environment at the time. Back then we were just, sounds crazy to think, but we were really just starting our recycling programs and things like that. So it was just really just present for us. And so when we started kind of searching around and brainstorming ideas, these really crazy looking hybrid bicycle things started showing up, and at the time they were still being piloted in Ontario. They weren't even legislated yet. So we found somebody who was selling them in Toronto and then just went and had a look at them. We had been doing some research, and then when we saw them physically, we just absolutely fell head over heels in love with them, um and yeah, we just dove all in. So uh back then we were amongst the first few in Ontario to begin into electric bikes. They had already passed their pilot through Quebec and BC, but Ontario was in the midst of piloting to see if, just how we would legislate them, if they would even be allowed to continue on our city streets and trails. But anyways, it all went well, and yeah, that's kind of our origin story.
So, in 16 years, I'm sure you've seen a lot of changes in the electric bike business. You know, has your customer base changed? Has, I'm sure the bikes themselves have changed, as have our cars. What are some of the biggest changes or trends that you've seen in your 16 years?
Yeah, I think the biggest trend, and it's a happy trend, is that when we first started in the industry, we had fallen in love with the electric bicycle hybrid. So it was more like a bicycle. When we brought them into Peterborough, into our area, we also had the scooter style, and everybody flocked to the scooter style, and that was, they're fun and they were great, but it was a big surprise for us. But that's how it started, and that was mainly what we were selling, what people wanted. And then in the last 5-ish years, perhaps, it's really started to shift towards the electric bicycle style, which is fantastic because that's kind of where our love lies, is in the bicycle style. It, just with being able to create a little bit more of an active transportation mode. And so that's been a big shift in the product. And then the other shift is just the sheer volume of people that are now interested in electric bicycles. When we first started, it was popular, but not to the same degree as what we've experienced in the last while. So it's definitely become more popular.
Well, and and correct me if I'm wrong, but my understanding of the electric bicycle is what makes it really fabulous is you have a bicycle, but if you need that little kick to get you the last 10 feet at the top of the hill, you can just kick it into gear and it'll give you a little push up that hill, which in a city like Peterborough with all our hills and valleys and peaks, and it's a nice little component.
Yeah.
And that's what my understanding of, and I could be wrong, is of that electric bike.
It does. It gives you a little assist, and it's kind of like biking on your own terms. So you can use as much or as little assist as you like. So, you might be riding along and really just want more of an authentic pedal bike, that stronger workout, because you're maybe on a nice flat terrain. And you would ride in the lowest level of assist, which really just offsets it being a little heavier of a bike because of the motor and the battery. But then you're pedaling along, and a big hill is right in front of you, something like Armour Hill in our area.
I
And
was thinking about
you just
Armour.
pump it up, and then it's like somebody just has your back and can get you up and over the hill. So it levels the playing field. It makes it a little bit more accessible to the masses, which is really important. And yeah, they're a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's the comments from my friends that ride them, that it's just so much fun.
It's just so much fun.
There have been a lot of changes, maybe, and maybe not enough, but you're going to talk about that, with how making it easier to ride bicycles in cities.
Yeah. Making it easier. Yeah. So infrastructure is the biggest thing. And what we're seeing more and more is increased bicycle lanes, more dollars being put on our beautiful trails, developing trails, rail trails. And there are lots of efforts to connecting trails and streets, bike lanes, as well as communities, village, cities to city to city. And those are changes. Those are things that we're working on. There's still a lot of room for growth there, but there's been some really wonderful work done there so far. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. I think, once the decision was made, the paint was going down on the streets and the arrows and it's
Yeah.
good. It's good. So if you
Yeah.
were in charge, what
But
is the one change you would make to make it more accessible for bikes and e-bikes?
again, just a continuation of the infrastructure, being able to connect. It's connecting the streets where we have our great bike lanes, connecting it to the trails. And then, especially with electric bikes, we can go further and do more on with the assist. So being able to have the infrastructure in place that connects our cities a little more, uh, a little more robust there. We do have some of that connection happening, but if we could take that, just level up. I think just leveling up on what's already being done with infrastructure. But that's really where it comes down to. Our bikes are fantastic, and that's that is just naturally evolving, with great manufacturers in place, and working on things like that, and technology. But just being able to create that infrastructure where people feel safe, to get out and to do more on their bikes, and to go further. That's the thing right there, I think.
Now, have you seen a shift in your 16 years of who is buying e-bikes? Is
Yeah,
there
definitely.
okay.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, definitely there's been a shift. There's, again, just because there are more people, so just in volume. But I think we have a fairly, we have an aging population. So people either thinking or moving into retirement, getting into the retirement years, or are already in the retirement years, are looking at ways that they can continue to live active lifestyles, and have, continue to have adventures, and do fun things. So we have that, but also because the electric bicycle has become so popular, we have a lot of professional people getting on their bikes and looking at cycling as not just recreational, but more as a transportation, replacing their second vehicle with an electric bicycle because it's electric. So it kind of, again, it's a little bit more accessible to think of it as a full-on mode of transportation, a second vehicle maybe. And then we're seeing also like parents with these great cargo bikes, and having their kids being able to go with them. But again, that's extra weight. So having that assist, they're able to still continue to take their families out on outings, but by bike, and not necessarily have to get into that vehicle. So it's kind of cool.
It is kind of cool. It is kind of
Yeah.
cool. I hadn't thought, but I'm listening to what you're saying and I'm thinking, yeah, yeah, I am seeing more young families with, a fancy carrier on the back with one of their kids in it, or, pulling something that they're obviously transporting. And yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is. And then I also think that another big influence as to this big, is the almost evolution in ridership has been, when COVID hit, it was unbelievable how all of a sudden so many people, I guess it's not so unbelievable because people were now not allowed to go in gyms and things like that. So people were really craving and seeking ways, what can we do to be active and enjoy life, enjoy nature? And, we all, a lot of things shifted for people. Mindset shifted, and yeah, so that was also a really contributing factor, I think,
well,
to
and the
this.
other thing is people's time constraints change. So it's like you were no longer driving by the entrance to Rotary Trail and going, one day I'm gonna go on that. My friends go on that. One day I'm gonna have time, but I don't have time right now. I can't stop. And then all of a sudden, we all had huge chunks of free time.
Yeah,
So you could say, you know what, I got time for Rotary Trail now. I'm gonna, walk it, and then you see a bike and you think that looks great. And I think as much as COVID was a challenge, I think that's one of the positives that came out of people having to streamline their schedules.
I agree, wholeheartedly agree with that. There are some silver linings. There were some positive things for sure that we all um, came away with. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it sounds like you're having an awful lot of fun down there, and you're going to continue to have some fun because you've only been there 16 years, so you've got easily another 16 to go. So, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
it'll be,
for
and
sure.
it'll go just like that.
Yes, yes. I can't believe it's been 16 years now. I still feel like we're it still feels like a new business, and and yet we've been doing it for 16 years, but it I think it just reinvents itself every few years. It just evolves and continues, and it's just this wonderful thing that we get to be a part of. I love
Yeah,
it.
it really is. And, you get to meet families, young families, multi-generational families. You get to hear about their adventures.
Yeah,
It must be fun every day.
it really is. It really is. I feel very fortunate to have gotten into this industry, and especially when it was brand new. It was scary. It was a little scary at the time, but I'm so glad we just jumped in, because it's really been a life change. It has changed our lives for sure.
Yeah, that's great. Well, I know you're busy and I really appreciate you taking time to be with us. And what I like to do is at the end of a visit, I like to ask a few rapid fire questions, just, so we can get to know a little bit about you outside your business. So if you're up for it, I've got some
I
questions for you.
am. I'm up.
Okay, you're ready?
Yes,
Laptop or tablet?
laptop,
Bike or skateboard?
bike,
Red or white?
red.
Toronto or Algonquin Park?
Oh, Algonquin for sure. I'm a northern girl.
Fries or onion rings?
Both,
It's hard, isn't it?
both
Yeah.
for sure. I love them both.
You're also active in Women's Business Network, and we love hearing about your bike adventures when we're all together at our meetings. And we appreciate too what you do in the community and all the great things you do for business, for women in business, and for this beautiful city we live in. So I really appreciate you taking time to be on Chez Les Fleur, and I'm sure I'll see you in a couple weeks.
You will. You will. Thank you so much, Janet. And we all really appreciate you too, and everything that you bring, especially to our WBN and our community, our community at large. So yeah,
Well,
lots
thank
of
you.
gratitude to you too.
Well, thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll see you soon.
Thank you. Bye now.
Bye.